So welcome everyone. I'm here today. I'm Amanda Weaver of New Leaf Solicitors, and I'm joined today by Ali Carter of Mediate UK. Hi Ali.
Hello there, good morning.
So I'm a specialist in family law and I'm based in Rugby and Leamington. And Ali, do you want to take a little bit about your role?
Yeah, I run a company called Mediate UK, and we help families who are going through a divorce or separation. We try and help them to do that as amicably as possible, and we've got a network of branches around the country, and of course we can mediate online as well.
We thought we'd talk through some questions today, as we work a lot with mediation. We sit very well with mediators, and we thought we'd just go through a few questions that our mutual clients have of us as to how the process works. So hopefully you'll find this quite informative. So do you have any questions you want to start with, Ali?
Yeah, I suppose if a client is unable to reach an agreement for a parenting matter or a financial matter, what do you say to them in the initial conversation?
Yeah, there are a number of options as to how couples can reach an agreement. I suppose the first option, and the perhaps most informal one, is they speak directly. However that may be, a chat over the phone or over the kitchen table to see whether they can reach an agreement themselves. If they can't, then there are other options. There's voluntary financial disclosure, or there's court proceedings as the last resort. But really, the most cost-effective and perhaps the most quickest way and more amicable way of dealing with matters is to go to mediation, and that's when we refer matters to a mediator such as Ali.
Excellent, thanks for that.
So perhaps then you can enlighten us, Ali, then as to how does mediation work?
Yeah, so we've put together a process that it's aligned with what the Family Mediation Council ask us to do. So we meet each party individually at first for a initial intake meeting, or a MIAM as it's also called, and we get a background to the situation, establish what they would like to happen and what the issues are to be resolved as well. Mm-hmm. We can also address any concerns about mediation, and that allows the mediator, when they've done that for each party, to put a plan together for the joint sessions. And we will go through, normally we'll cover parenting first, then we'll look at the financial arrangements, mm-hmm. and then hopefully we will get them to an agreement, and we draft it into a memorandum of understanding and a parenting plan.
A lot of clients ask, and they're perhaps worried about this, but do they have to sit in the same room as each other?
No. So you can do shuttle mediation. You can ask your mediator to arrange that. That can work really well, especially if there's been domestic abuse, or you just feel really intimidated, or you don't think you'd be able to mediate in the same room as the other party and make the best use out of it. And that can work really well where the mediator goes between the rooms. But you can also obviously mediate online, so you don't even have to be in the same building now. And you can even do shuttle mediation online where you're not even sharing the same screen. So there's quite a few options there if you're feeling nervous about the mediation.
Yeah. So after all that hard work and in terms of putting in the time for the mediations, is the agreement that they reach legally binding?
So we will draft the agreement into a memorandum of understanding, and that can then be made legally binding. And that's where a service such as yourself, Amanda, is great, because you can look at our memorandum of understanding, and for finances you can turn that into a legally binding consent order. You can also, if both parents agree by consent, they could have it made into a child arrangement order as well. Yeah. So that's where good legal advice really comes in at that stage as well.
Good. So once they've reached an agreement, then I'll just quickly go through how what the next step is from that. So obviously, once they've reached an agreement at mediation, like you just said, you'll have a memorandum of understanding and the financial statement, and then the process then to us is just simply either you refer those clients to us or you signpost them to us, and then the client doesn't have to repeat themselves and go through all their information again and set up all the history. It's much more time saving for the client, because all that information that's already been gathered at mediation is then just presented to us, and we can then formalise whatever those agreements that have been discussed and agreed at mediation.
Yeah, I'll just come in there. It works really well to work closely with New Leaf on this, because they know how we work, they know our paperwork, and we know that we can safely refer clients to them, and that the consent order is going to accurately reflect what they've agreed, and that it's going to be done professionally as well. So it's a win-win. It works really well for us and our clients.
Yeah, good. Any other questions you want to just think what they've been put to us, Ali?
Do you work with many mediators, or?
We work with a number of mediators. I think the reason why that is because the values of our firm probably are very much aligned with those with mediation services, and that we really recognise the importance of mediation, and we're not seeking to undermine the hard work and the agreements being reached at mediation. Of course, we are we advise our clients of their entitlements, but we are wanting to make the process as smooth as possible, and so I think that kind of those values sit very well with mediation services. So yes, we do work with a number of mediation services. Always open to working with more. So obviously, if you're a mediator and you want to work with a solicitor to formalise those agreements, then obviously we are here. By all means, contact us. So we always get asked as well, Ali, and we spoke about this a little bit before, we always get asked about top tips, don't we? So any top tips that you want to suggest for any clients to make the most out of their mediation?
Well, I would say that if you have a problem that you can't resolve between yourself and your ex-partner, so if there's a parenting issue, a financial issue, property issue, if you can't agree it between yourselves, and to be fair, not many people can at that stage in a relationship, then just give mediation a go, even if you don't think it's going to work, even if the other party have said they don't want to do it, because nationally there's over a 70% success rate. Mediate UK have a 90% success rate. So you've got around a 7 in 10, a 9 in 10 chance of reaching an agreement. The odds are with you, and get good legal advice through the process, because that can really complement the mediation sessions. And again, that's where using someone like New Leaf can really help. You can come into the mediation session armed with that legal advice, and it can just help you get to a good agreement that you can both move forwards with.
Yeah, great. I always think if clients have had a real input into the agreement that they reach, they're much likely to be satisfied with it, rather than it being something that they feel is imposed on them. Whereas this, they really have control of their own destiny, don't they? It's an agreement that they have put a lot of effort into. So yeah, I mirror those sentiments. So okay, so I think, well, I hope that's been really informative to you. Obviously, I'm here if you have any questions, or you require any advice, and obviously you know how to contact Ali at Mediate UK. So thank you for your time, Sutton. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.